Today we're doing lesson 2.12, ways to compare fractions. All right, so we've done the math warm-up. We're on page 91 now. It says here are 25 fractions in a table. For each question, be prepared to explain your reasoning. Identify the greatest fraction in each column. So when it says the greatest fraction in each column, guys, it's talking about column A, B, C, and so on. So we are looking at these fractions: 2/3, 4/3, 7/3, 11/3, and 26/3 to decide which is the biggest. Who knows which is the biggest? Zerelda?
26/3.
Yes, because since they all have a 3 on the bottom, all of these are made up of these pieces. So we have 2 of these, then 4 of these, then 7 of these, then 11 of these, then 26 of these. So clearly 26 is the biggest. Zerelda, you can give yourself a point on your sticky note. Okay, perfect. So we're going to write that down. Our first fraction under number 1 is 26/3. Okay, then on B, we have 2/5, 4/5, 7/5, 11/5, or 26/5. So again, same denominator. Ari, what's the largest one in that column?
26.
Yep, give yourself a point. 26/5. Todd, if you have a question, please raise your hand. Okay. On C, we have 2/10, 4/10, 7/10, 11/10, 26/10. Mary.
26/10.
Yes, ma'am. 26/10. Are you guys seeing a trend here? Okay. Evan, on D, 2/12, 4/12, 7/12, 11/12, 26/12. Which is the biggest?
26/12.
Yes, sir. Give yourself a point. All right. And on E, we have 200s, 400s, 700s, 1100s, 2600s. Todd, which is the biggest?
2600s.
You're correct. Give yourself a point. Okay. So, because those all have the same denominator in each column, that means that you're just going to look at the top number basically like it's not even a fraction, right? And that makes it pretty simple to say which is bigger, 2, 4, 7, 11, or 26. 26, right? Next, they want us to identify the greatest fraction in each row. So that means going across. What do you notice about all of those fractions across the number 1 row? What do you notice about all of them? Jackson?
At the top it's just going up by 2.
Not going up by 2.
Well, no, the numerators at the top, they're all 2.
Exactly right. Yes, give yourself a point. They're all 2s, aren't they? And so, what do you have to do when you have the same numerator? How do you decide which is bigger? Fisher? When you have the same top number, how do you know which is bigger? Evan?
Which top number is the biggest?
No, they're all the same.
Wait, no. Which one that has which one that has the
So here's my
least?
question for you. So when you have a bunch of fractions, Evan, and they all have the same top number. So it's all 2 pieces, 2 pieces, 2 pieces, 2 pieces, 2 pieces. How do you decide which fraction is bigger? Go ahead.
Because the one that has the most pieces.
The top number tells you the number of pieces. They all have the same amount. So what do you do when all the piles or all the fractions have the same top number? How do you decide? Hands down, guys. We're working through this. Not sure? Okay. Jackson?
You choose the smallest denominator because
Why do you choose the smallest denominator?
Oh no!
I've given you a little saying. Anybody remember it?
I know it. I remember it.
Athena?
We do it to the top.
No, nope, not that saying.
No.
Emma? Avis?
I know how to explain it.
Okay, do it.
You choose the smaller number because the smaller the number, the bigger the pieces.
That's the saying. That's the saying.
Yeah, same.
The bigger the number, the smaller the pieces. The smaller the number, the bigger the pieces. Okay.
You want the lowest denominator.
Exactly right, because look at this, guys. This is a third size piece, and it's pretty big because the hole is only cut in 3 parts. And then we have a fifth size piece, which is smaller because the hole is cut in, the holes are the same size always, and that since there's more pieces, they have to be smaller, okay? This is a 100th size piece, and even though 100 is the biggest number up there, they're the smallest pieces, right? Because you have to cut the hole into 100 little tiny pieces. So if you are comparing 2/3, 3 is a smaller number, right? So you normally think of 3 as being the smallest, or 2/100, which is going to be the biggest, 2/3, right? So it kind of works the opposite of the way you would think. If when it comes to denominators, Evan, if you think the 3 is the smallest number, so it's the biggest piece. Or 3 is the smallest denominator, which means it's the biggest piece. 100 is the biggest denominator, which means it's the smallest piece. Okay? So which of those fractions then would be biggest in that row? 2/3, 2/5, 2/10, 2/12, 2/100. Autrey?
2/3.
Yes, ma'am. 2/3 is the biggest. All right. In row 1. Write that down, Zeralda. Okay, now we're in row 2. We have 4/3, 4/5, 4/10, 4/12, and 4/100. Which is the biggest? Devin. Is it?
100? No, wait,
Remember, I just told you it's the opposite of what you would think. So 100 is the biggest number, which means it's the smallest pieces.
Okay.
So which of these fractions would be the biggest? 4/3, 4/5, 4/10, 4/12, or 4/100?
4 100s.
No? Okay. You guys shout it out. 4/3. Okay, let me show you why real quick. So I have all of these. So we have here's 4/3. Look up here, Devin. Here's 4/3, or 4 of these would be 4/3, 4 of the orange ones. Then we have 4/5 are the green ones. Then we have 4/10 are the purple ones. And then 4/12 are the black ones. And then 4/100 are the little blue ones. So which is the biggest out of those, Devin?
1/10.
Which is the biggest out of all of these?
1/12.
All of them.
Orange.
Orange, green, purple, black, or blue. Which is biggest? The orange is the biggest, right? And what's the bottom number?
3.
3. Does that make sense? So, the third size parts are the biggest. And since we have the same number of all of them, we have 4/3, 4/5, 4/10, 4/12, and 4/100. They are all, we base it on how big the parts are. Okay, so now we've got 7/3, 7/5, 7/10, 7/12, 7/100. Ari. 7/3. Okay, you seeing the pattern here?
Yes.
Okay. What about the 4th row? Cameron, are you focused over there? Okay, then tell me the answer to the 4th row. What's the biggest? 11/3, 11/5, 11/10, 11/12, or 11/100?
11/10.
No. Look what I got here, Cameron. Okay, I'm gonna come to you. Do you see what this says? What's on the bottom? What's on the bottom of this one? A 5. And this is 100. Which is the biggest out of those? Do you understand? Okay. Because we've got, I don't want to dig out 11 of each of these, so you just, but because you only need to know how big the third size part is. So 11/3. And then on the last one, what's the biggest? 26/3. Now, out of all of those fractions, which one is the biggest of them all? Fisher?
26/3.
Yes, because look, guys, what's the biggest? Or what's the number that you see in both lists?
26/3.
Do you see how 26/3 is the only one that shows up in both lists? So that's the biggest of them all. They're all 26/3. Remember, when we have a bigger number on top, it means it's greater than 1 whole. So how many whole fractions could you make with 26 of these? Every 3 is 1 whole. So you're going to go 3 is 1 whole. 6 is 2 holes. 9 is 3 holes. 12 is 4 holes. 15 is 5 holes. 18 is 6 holes. 21 is 7 holes. 24 is 8 holes. And then, so we've got more than 8 whole fractions in 26/3. Okay. Next page. Here's the same table you saw earlier. So you need to write 26/3 and then turn the page. And this one, 2/3, 4/3, 7/3. So write a 3 there. Page 92. Next page. Here is the same table you saw earlier. Which fractions are less than 1/2? Evan, don't do that, please. We are comparing all of these fractions to 1/2. Okay? The first one is 2/3. So if you have 2/3, which we do right here, and you're comparing that to 1/2, the question is 2/3 less than 1/2? Yes or no? No. You can see that 2/3 is clearly bigger than half, right? So we are not going to circle 2/3. We're only going to circle the fractions that are smaller than 1/2, smaller than the pink section. Okay, you with me? All right. What about 2/5? Is 2/5 the green section smaller than the pink?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
It is.
It's
smaller.
It's
smaller.
Here's what I'll do. I'll put it on top.
Wait, it's almost the same size, but the pink is bigger.
The pink is bigger, so is 2/5 less than 1/2?
Yes.
So circle it. Another way you can do this, guys, is they want to know if 2/10 is less than 1/2. Well, what's half of 10? 5. Is 2 smaller than 5?
Yes.
Yes, so 2 out of 10 is less than half. If you've got a pizza with 10 slices and you eat 2, you ate less than half a pizza. Okay? So we're going to circle 2 out of 10. That's less than half. If your pizza has 12 slices and you eat only 2, did you eat less than half a pizza?
Yes.
Yes. Okay? If your pizza has 100 slices, what's half of 100?
50.
50. So half of the pizza would be 50 slices. You eat 2 baby slices. Did you eat less than half a pizza?
Yes.
Okay.
Literally.
All right. Here's the next question or next fraction. 4/3. So we have 4 of the orange thirds. Is 4/3 less than half?
No.
No, it's much bigger, right? So what about 4/5?
No.
Is 4/5 smaller than half?
No.
No, because 2/5 is almost the same size, so 4/5 is definitely not smaller than the pink one, right? What about 4/10? Well, what's half of
Yes.
10?
5.
5. So if you eat 4, you ate less than half, right? So we're going to circle 4/10. What about 4/12?
Yes.
What's half of 12?
6.
6. So is 4 less than 6?
Yes.
Yes.
So we circle it.
So we circle it.
50. Yes.
What about 4 of my little
Yes.
hundredths?
Yes,
Is that
definitely.
smaller than
Yes,
half, Devin?
definitely.
Yes.
Yes. We'll
Definitely.
circle it. Okay. What about 7 of the orange sections? Is that smaller than half? No. Don't circle it. What about 7 of the greens? Is that smaller than half?
No.
No. Don't circle it. Well, I'm asking the class. I would look like I was a bird if I kept doing this every time. Flapping my wings. I'm just trying to go through them quick. They're good. Okay, what about 7 out of 10? What's half of 10? 5. Is 7 smaller than 5? No. So 7 out of 10 is more than half, right? Okay. So what about 7 out of 12? What's half of 12? 6. Is 7 more than 6?
Yes.
Yes. So 7/12 is more than half. We're only circling ones that are less than half. What's half of 100?
50.
50. You eat 7. Did you eat less than half?
Yes.
So we're going to circle 7 out of 100. Okay. Next, we have 11/3. 11 of the orange, is that smaller than a half?
No.
No. What about 11 of the green? Is that smaller than a half?
No.
No. What about 11 of the purple? Is that smaller than half? No. What about 11 of the black? Is that smaller than half? No. What about 11 of the blue? Is that smaller than half?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. One more row. 26 thirds, is that less than half?
No.
Zerata. Remember,
I was looking at the hundreds.
gotcha. So 26 thirds, that was like more than 8 holes. So it's definitely not less than half, right? 26 of these guys is definitely not smaller than that. What about 26 of the green? Is that smaller than the half? No. What about 26 of the purple? No. What about 26 of the black?
No.
No. What about 26 of the 100? Yes, because what's half of 100?
50.
50. And if you only eat 26, you ate less than half. Okay. So what do you guys notice? Let's see, it says, I know a fraction is less than half when. Here's what we're going to write down. The numerator is less than half of the denominator. So copy this down. We don't have a lot of writing, but you got to keep up if you want to get on fracs. So under number 1, write the numerator is less than half of the denominator. On the next one, instead of drawing circling, we're going to put triangles around. So right here, we're going to find fractions that are greater than half. So it will be all the ones that are not circled yet, but are also less than 1 whole. How do you know if a fraction is less than 1 whole? Colton?
1 whole is a big size piece, and if you used a fraction, the fraction would be smaller because you cannot compare a fraction to a 1 whole unless it's bigger than.
Here's what I'm asking you, Colton. So, what fraction could you use to show 1 whole? Any fraction you want. 4/4. Okay. So, Colton, if you know that 1 whole is 4/4, and I give you the fraction 5/4, is that smaller than a whole? No, it's bigger, right? When the top number is bigger than your number of pieces in the whole, the fraction is bigger than 1 whole, right? And we had some of those. Remember the 26 thirds? We counted all the holes that were in it. So, a fraction is greater than half, but less than 1 whole. So we're going to rule out any fractions that have a bigger number on the top, okay? So let's look at our chart. And we're going to put triangles around all of the fractions that don't have a circle and also have a bigger number on bottom. So, will we put a triangle around 2/3?
Yes.
Yes. It's bigger than a half, less than a whole. Put a triangle around it, Zerelda.
I already did.
Okay. Stay focused. Stop turning around. Okay, what about 4/3?
No.
It's greater than half, but it's also greater than a whole. So it's out. 4/5 is greater than half. Is it less than 1 whole?
Yes.
Yes. So put a triangle around it. We have to make sure the fractions we put a triangle around meet both our requirements. Okay? 7/3 is greater than half. Is it less than 1 whole?
No.
No. 7/5 it's greater than half. Is it less than 1 whole?
No.
7/10
Yes.
is,
Yes.
hang on, let me get my questions out, Avis. 7/10 it's great. Azil, do this to Avis. No, I'm kidding. Okay, 7/10 is greater than half. Is it less than 1 whole? Yes. Cue Avis. He didn't even say that. Okay. All right, it gets a triangle. Is 7/12 is greater than half? Is it less than 1 whole?
Yes.
All right.
No.
Please be respectful and wait till I finish asking the question. Okay? 11/3 is greater than half. Is it less than 1 whole? No. 11/5 is it is greater than half. Is it less than 1 whole?
No.
11/10 it's greater than half. Is it less than 1 whole?
No.
11/12 it is greater than half. Is it less than 1 whole?
Yes.
Yes. So we're going to put a triangle around 11/12. All right. 26/3 it is greater than half. Is it less than 1 whole?
No.
26/5 it is greater than half. Is it less than 1 whole?
No.
26/10 is greater than half. Is it less than 1 whole? And 26/12 it is greater than half. Is it less than 1 whole? No. Okay. So what do you notice about all of the fractions that have a triangle? 2/3, 4/5, 7/10, 7/12, 11/12. They all are greater than 1/2 and less than 1 whole. Okay. We got something else to write. I know a fraction is greater than half, but less than 1 whole when the numerator, Cameron, is more than half of the denominator but is less than the denominator. I shouldn't hear your voices. So I know a fraction is greater than half but less than 1 whole when the numerator is more than half of the denominator, but it's still less than the denominator. So, for example, 11/12. What's half of 12? 6. And this is more than 6, but 11 is more than 6, but less than 12. Okay? And then it says we're going to draw a square or a box around all that's left. Did you guys finish copying that?
No.
All right, I'll give you a little bit more time. Go ahead and put a box around the ones that don't have a circle or a triangle. Put a box around them. There you go.
My legs are on.
Stay with us.
That just hurts so much.
So if you're done copying Macy, go ahead and put a box around all of the fractions that don't have a circle or a triangle.
Dude, I was done waiting.
Okay, so if you didn't quite get that copied down, I will put it back up in a little bit. For now, those of you that are finished, I'm gonna do mine in a different color so they kind of stand out. So 4/3 gets a box around it. 7/3, 7/5, 11/3, 11/5, 11/10, 26/3, 26/5, 26/10, and 26/12. All of those get boxes around them. What do you notice about all of those fractions, Mary?
They all they have more boxes when they slowly go down.
But look at, don't look at the number of boxes, look at the fractions that are inside the boxes. What do you notice about all of those fractions? Okay. Evan, what do you notice about all the fractions
That,
in the boxes? In blue.
that, that it all, wait, no, it goes,
Not talking patterns here.
oh,
Zerelda.
They are all bigger than one whole.
They all have a bigger number on top, right? If you look at them, bigger number on top, bigger number on top, bigger number on top, bigger number on top, bigger number on top. All of them have a bigger number on top. What does that mean? That helps us define what a fraction greater than one whole is. A fraction greater than one whole has a bigger number on top. Okay? So, Zarella, did you put yourself down for a
Yeah.
point? Okay. So here we go.
I was also just stretching.
Okay. How would you describe the size of these fractions? All of them are greater than one whole. Okay, write that down. Quick, quick. All of them are greater than one whole.
can we put this up?
Nope, we got one more page. So we're gonna do it super duper 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 quick. We have to make a key. And a key looks like this.
Oh.
A key, if somebody just opens your book and looks at this, they'll know what it is. So the circles are circled fractions are less than 1/2. Less than half. Circle equals a fraction less than half. A triangle is less than, greater than half. Yeah, greater than half and less than one whole. And a box is greater than one whole. Okay, so that's our key. And then we've got 4 fractions that we have to decide which is bigger. And what's the first one? 2/5 or 7/10? Which is bigger, 2/5 or 7/10? Well, what's half of 5?
10.
What's half of 5? You got 5 cookies. You split them with your brother. How many do you each get?
5.
2.5. So this is only 2. That's less than half. What's half of 10? 5. So this is greater than half. So which is bigger? 7/10. Circle it. Then we have 4/10 and 7/12. What's half of 10?
Half of 10, 5.
That's less than half. What's half of 12?
6.
So this is more than half. So 7/12 is bigger. We're over here, bud. And then we have 11/100 and 4/3. 11/100 is definitely less than half, right? Less than 50?
Yeah.
And this is more than a whole, so 4/3 is definitely bigger. And then we have 26/10. And is it 11/12?
Yes.
Okay, this is less than a whole, this is more than a whole, so this is bigger. Okay? All right, let me turn this off.